What's up, everyone? This is Sean Rampersad here with the Lend Ramp Mortgage team at TMG, the Mortgage Group. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about a really important topic because this is happening all over the board right now. People are moving to Edmonton. So the topic of today is how to get a mortgage when you are from BC specifically, okay? I know right now tons of people in BC have made a lot of money on their homes and they find it a lot more affordable to live here in Edmonton in comparison to BC. So I've had customers right now that have actually sold their homes in BC and they've moved to Edmonton. They've taken that money, they've bought a house outright with that money, better than the house that they had in BC, and they've bought a rental property or two with the cash they got out of their home because prices just went nuts in BC and they haven't gone nuts in Edmonton. So there's a lot of big benefits here of living in Edmonton and purchasing property here when you're from BC. So to get started, I want to talk about why a person would move to Edmonton from BC. Okay, so first and foremost, there's lots of jobs here, and the jobs here are paying as much or even more sometimes than what they're paying in BC. So your property values are lower here. The jobs are paying more, so your standard of living goes up. Cheap real estate in Edmonton in comparison to BC. So I'll give you an example. A property in Edmonton that is worth $500,000 would be worth over $1 million in BC. For sure, if you're in Vancouver, Surrey, Brampton, any of those areas, it would absolutely be over $1 million. Okay, that's a tough pill to swallow, especially if you're first starting out buying properties. So Edmonton is a good place to get established in if you're from BC or even Ontario. Okay. Lots of amenities. Edmonton has tons of things to do. We've got West Edmonton Mall, we've got skiing, we've got some of the best bike trails in Alberta, in Edmonton. We've got a beautiful river valley, parks everywhere, nightclubs, restaurants, I mean, you name it. If you want to live in suburbs, we've got some beautiful suburbs like St. Albert, Sherwood Park, Spruce Grove, that type of thing. So it's really pretty here in Edmonton, and your lifestyle will be less rushed, okay? I talk to family and friends from BC, and they tell me how rushed they feel in everything they do, especially with work and earning an income. In Edmonton here, I mean, we are a little bit slower living than people in BC. So that adds to your longevity. I mean, a person living longer, it's less stressful here than it is in BC. Also, because of the pressures of the property values there and people trying to make a life for their family, that could be an additional stressor. In Edmonton, it's a lot easier. It's pretty reasonable to get a job that's over $70,000 in Edmonton very easily. So it's something to consider if you're thinking about moving. So getting a mortgage in Edmonton when you're coming from BC. Number one, banks do not like to lend on primary residences if you're working in BC and you say you're going to be living in Edmonton. Okay? The reason the banks don't like lending money that way is because you're working in BC still. They don't feel like you have a vested interest in the property here, and they know you potentially could be renting it. So there's certain scenarios where you can use your income from BC at most of the banks and still qualify for a mortgage here. Scenario number one is you get us an employment letter stating that you work remotely, okay? Basically, after COVID, tons of people that were working in office are allowed to work remotely. That allows them to live in places like Edmonton when they're from BC and still have their job in BC, okay? Number two, you get us an employment letter stating that you're going to be transferring here with the same company you're currently with, okay? So we can use your full income if that's the case, because they know you're just transferring here, moving into your new house, starting your life here in Edmonton. Okay. Next is you purchase a rental property with 20% down. Okay. Anyone can do that, and you could use your income from BC plus the rental income that would be generated from the property to help you qualify for that mortgage. Next is you purchase a second home. Okay. So you would have to own a primary residence in BC already, and then say that you're buying a house for your mother, your sister, your brother, whatever it might be, and call that a second home here. Or say that you're going to be working there, and then you're going to be spending months here at a time. So that could be your second home, kind of like owning a cabin, and you only have to put 5% down for that. But we have to debt service your mortgage in BC to help you qualify, and you cannot use rental income on the property in Edmonton. Okay. You sell your home in BC, and then you have a large down payment to bring here. Okay, so that's another way. So those are all of the ways that help you qualify. If you walk into a bank, that's what they're looking for. I do have access to some top secret information on how you can qualify for a mortgage here and still work in BC, okay? Other than what I've told you already. So what I've told you already is what the regular banks are offering. Now, I did find one bank that will allow you to use your income in BC and still put only 5% down on a property in Edmonton. It's fantastic, okay? So please call me if you are looking to do this. I've got all kinds of ins and outs. I've been working on this for months now to find a way to get this done for people, and I finally found a way. Okay, so they'll charge you a shelter cost for living in BC. So basically, we're gonna have to debt service about $750 and say that's like your rent in BC, and then we could use your full income from BC to buy a house here for 5% down. Thank you for watching the video. My name is Sean Rampersad. Please call me with any questions, or if you are trying to get approved for a mortgage. I am the easiest way to get approved for a mortgage in Canada. I'm the most aggressive mortgage broker around, so I fight and get the best rates for you out of anyone out there. My number is 780-278-4847. Thank you very much.